everyone has been so helpful and so warm and welcoming, and that has surprised me. You know, what they say is true, a smile is a smile in any language. I am currently working with the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. My role there is Head of Performance and Rewards. I've been with AIB for 9 months and relocated to Beijing at the end of July last year to take up this international posting here.
Okay, and how has it been so far, your stay here in China?
Well, it's been very exciting and very eventful. I have enjoyed my 7 months here. My family and I relocated, you know, just to take up this opportunity. We weren't sure what we should expect. We came with very open minds, and we have been continually pleasantly surprised and very much enjoying the experience thoroughly. So I would say that we have settled well, and we continue to discover new things every day and to enjoy those new things.
What made you decide to take up the job, moving so far away from home?
Well, I think it was an opportunity that probably doesn't come very often. It was the opportunity to continue my career in international development, but in a different region of the world. My last stint was with the Caribbean Development Bank, and this was an opportunity to work at the world's newest multilateral development bank, only 6 years old when I joined it, which gives me the opportunity to help build almost from the ground up. You know, most of the other institutions are decades old. The Caribbean Development Bank is 52, World Bank 82. So lots of those organizations have already established themselves, lots of policies and structures in those organizations already, practices very well enshrined. So the opportunity to work at a multilateral development bank that was relatively new was very exciting. Also, the opportunity to live in Asia was, you know, I think the big draw for me. I love Asia. Although I'd never been to mainland China, my family and I have traveled all around Asia before, and we absolutely love the culture. So I think it was the best of all worlds colliding. You know.
And of course, you moved your family here. Were they as eager as you to travel?
Well, I think in many respects, my family is a traveling family. I have always traveled. I grew up in a home with my mom, led by my mom, who really loved exploring and going new places. So it's always been part of our existence that we travel to new and far away countries from the time I was a child. My daughter similarly has been brought up with a similar expectation and similar experiences. So when I remember saying to my husband that I'd gotten this call from this headhunter who wanted to know if I was interested in this job in Asia, my daughter overheard our conversation, and she immediately lit up and started to edit her biography to include moving to China. So I think the short answer to that question would be yes. I think my family were as buoyed, and maybe perhaps buoyed my own decision to say yes to the headhunter, something that I previously would have hesitated to do.
Any pleasant surprises? Any culture shocks? Anything that, you know, stood out to you?
I think one of the things that I have found since being here has been the genuine, I want to say niceness. I know it sounds a bit fickle because we are from Barbados, and we hear people who come to visit the island say, oh, the people in Barbados are so lovely. And I guess as Barbadians sometimes we reflect on that. But that has been one of the highlights for me here, the people that I've interacted with. I have found everyone to be genuinely helpful and very welcoming. Of course, there's curiosity. I mean, I am a definite minority. We're a minority here, but it's more curiosity than anything else. And everyone has been so helpful and so warm and welcoming, and that has surprised me. You know, what they say is true, a smile is a smile in any language. So the fact that we're not able to communicate as well and as fluently as we should be, because we don't necessarily speak Mandarin, has not been a hamper to our ability to live very comfortably and to do everyday things without even having mastered the language, because people are so kind and go out of their way to be helpful, even without being asked. And that's one of the things that I think has been very pleasantly surprising for me, but has made our transition so much easier.
What has been your favorite part of this journey in your life so far?
I'm going to have to highlight the people again. From the time I kind of walked into AIIB, walked through the doors on about the 17th of August. My colleagues were at the ground floor to greet me, and they have pretty much supported me in everything I wanted to do. People were super helpful to get me settled, and that's been a highlight. My daughter has also transitioned really well. So she moved from HC in Barbados in terms of our very structured secondary school into the IB program at an international school, and her transition has been completely amazing to me in terms of how well it has gone. Of course, we are always prepared as parents for helping to ease over some of the rough patches and help settle, but we've had none of that because, as I said, I think everyone here, maybe because they're so accustomed to welcoming new arrivals, have just made the transition really, really very simple and easy.
And back to home, do you miss it?
There are aspects of home that I miss, but I think that I have been able to get everything I've wanted here. There's nothing that I'm lacking here that I have at home, maybe except for the beach. That's not necessarily within driving distance, but I'm happy to learn that there is a part of South China that sports nice white sand beaches, and we're anxious to visit that part of China. But I think what I miss, of course, my former colleagues and my family members in a broader sense, but I'm in constant contact with my former colleagues and my family. Technology has bridged the gap. I miss, of course, maybe some of the social activities of being home, but happy to say also that I find myself to be part of really a growing Afro-Caribbean community here, and lots of activities. I was so happy to see a Bob Marley tribute concert just 2 months ago. Our Trinidadian colleagues and community here had a carnival at the same time that carnival was occurring in Trinidad, and they said, bring your old costumes. Of course, I did not walk with any, but now I'll know when I go home for summer, I'll make sure to come back with at least a headpiece. I miss some aspects of home, but I can't say that I miss home to the point where I am homesick. I am really very buoyed and excited about what I'm experiencing here, and maybe that has taken off some of the edge of being away.
And to tell Barbadians your experience here in China, what do you have to say?
I will say to people at home that this experience has been completely enriching for me and for my family. I do often check-ins with my daughter, my mom, who are physically with me. My husband comes to visit, but I do check-ins with them to see how they're doing, how they're settling, because we all have different experiences. My daughter is at school, I'm at work, my mom is kind of at home, so I want to always keep the pulse as to how everybody's feeling, and the reports from everybody has been consistently, we're doing well. So I will say to other Barbadians that don't believe what you hear. You need to experience it for yourself. I have this big poster that I have in my office that says pictures were not enough. I needed to see it for myself, and that's what I would say to Barbadians. You need to see it for yourself.